All right, diving into Solana in a different way today, and that is talking about the Phantom Wallet. I want to get a little bit deeper on this project and really find out what's happening with Phantom. So we thought, hey, let's do a project analysis, get some of the team on, and really do a deep dive. That's what we're going to do. My name is Paul Barrett. Welcome back to TechPath. Let's jump into it today with Brandon Millman, who is the CEO and co-founder over at Phantom. Great to have you on the show.
Hey, yeah, thanks for having me.
Excellent, Brandon. So let's jump into it today. First of all, for some of our viewers and some of our listeners, since we do the podcast version of this show as well, let's learn a little bit about the overall Phantom Wallet project and what you guys are trying to do with it, kind of how it's all connected. Give me kind of the rundown.
Yeah, awesome. Oh yeah, first of all, thanks for having me again. Really appreciate opportunity to talk about Phantom and Web3 and crypto more broadly. Yeah, Phantom. So Phantom is a non-custodial wallet built for using applications on the Solana blockchain. And so, there's a sort of a world of decentralized applications or dApps out there that people like to use on Solana. So to name a few, there's Magic Eden, which is a big secondary NFT marketplace, Radium, which is sort of like a AMM and farming venue on Solana, and Phantom is sort of the tool and gateway to access those applications. Our sort of long-term vision for it is that it essentially acts as the passport to Web3 applications as a whole, no matter how they may be implemented. So today, a lot of developers and users are choosing Solana for their applications because it's fast and cheap. I think as the blockchain and crypto space matures, there's going to be a number of different solutions and different approaches to building applications, and we want Phantom to be sort of that tool that a user or developer uses to access Web3, no matter where it is.
Yeah, I think we're seeing more and more innovation in this space, especially around really advanced wallets and being able to plug into a true Web3 environment, which is becoming more robust because we're seeing so many different applications actually start to come to market with real use case scenarios. And I think that in itself has kind of opened up the market in terms of people understanding how to utilize these wallets and become much more active on them. I know you guys have some big numbers and we'll get to those in a minute, but let's talk about, okay, so you guys got a $109 million cash injection. You also are rolling out your iOS app. Tell me about the whole process here and kind of what is the big plan for Phantom moving forward? I mean, now you got some cash in the bank, you're rolling out the iOS. What's next, I guess, for where you guys are going with development for Phantom?
Yeah, totally. Yeah, we're just getting started in a lot of different ways. We, like you mentioned, just put our iOS out there about a month and a half ago, and now we're working on basically just rounding out our product offering in terms of clients that we support. So we're currently in a beta process for the Android application. Users have been really loving using that. Especially in the non-US regions. And so, yeah, we're still sort of, as a company in this sort of quote unquote infrastructure building phase, where we're sort of building out a good sort of base to do the rest of our work. And I'd say the rest of our work there is sort of really pushing for the boundaries of onboarding people into Web3. And if you think about it, wallets are sort of really that first initial touch point a lot of people have with their Web3 experience. And, it's anecdotally, it's typically described as a pretty poor and scary experience to onboard onto crypto at the moment. And so, yeah, we're really looking forward to sort of pushing the bar forward there.
Yeah, I think use case for people that are new to crypto, even our audience, we have a sophisticated crypto audience, but we also have new people coming into the space for the first time. And in many cases, their first exposure is an exchange. And often those cases, they don't really understand how the functional use of a real wallet can really kind of explode the opportunities on getting in on great investments, but also having a lot more fun. If you get into the NFT space, there's just so much that you can do around these. So I think getting education out there to really, for new people to understand how these wallets work and why, because that's one of the biggest concerns, I think, at least the people we talk to in the comments are, they're always worried about security. Obviously, we've heard about the MetaMask issues, challenges within those scenarios. I've even run into scenarios where I've had my MetaMask wallet hacked. And I'm kind of curious, when you look at just that issue in the sense of security, how do you guys address that? And what do you think is kind of the future of where, especially these private wallets like this, are going to go as we see better and better security start to layer in?
Yeah, there's definitely a couple different aspects to that we focus on. So I'd say first one, so straight up just security of the wallet, how safe it is to use. We take that very seriously. We have a number of external security firms that we use and employ to basically try to break the wallet on a continuous basis.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Basically, from the eyes of a potential hacker or someone with bad intent. As well as just have a number of security practices and protocols that we follow internally. The second part to that is user education. And so sell with, sort of with great responsibility, uh, managing your own keys gives a lot of really interesting, power in terms of being able to sort of control, your sovereignty or
Sure.
have true control of your assets. But, with that increased power also comes sort of increased responsibility in terms of getting educated and everything, and a lot of that falls on the wallet being sort of this initial entry point. And
Mm-hmm.
so, yeah, we're doing a lot of initiatives around education, um, education around what is a secret recovery phrase, what does it mean to have it, how you should secure it. We recently did this awesome partnership with 1Password, where we actually help guide the users to store their secret recovery phrases securely within a password manager that they might be used to, like 1Password. That's actually sort of like a first of its kind integration between a wallet and password manager. And so, that's like another example of how we're trying to create the safe environments through education and partnerships like that. And then I think a third more hidden thing that people may not necessarily realize is providing world-class customer support. So
Mm-hmm.
where can people go when they have an issue or problem using the application? Right now, the state of the art in the crypto space is to have this just wild Discord where anyone can go in and, it's kind of up to you to stay safe. For us, we've actually transitioned very early on into like a sort of high class regimented like ticket support system that has things like SLAs and guarantees and all of that. And so I think just kind of rambling there for a bit. But those are kind of like three things that we were doing to sort of help people stay safe.
Yeah, and I think all those are. I like the 1Password engagement. I was looking at the article, the Coinbase. I think it was CoinMarket or yeah, Cointelegraph. We're talking about integrating. I think that in itself, because some people, at least maybe they're not the early adopters, but they're fairly tech savvy. They probably recognize this company with 1Password. It's being used quite a bit
Hmm.
with a lot of enterprise solutions. So that in itself, I think, also kind of gravitates you guys to another level in terms of security, just automatically, just by association. So I think those
Hmm.
are good moves. But the customer service side, to me, that I think is the killer app, especially in crypto, because there's a handful of projects and also a handful of exchanges, a handful of dexes that they take it one step up with customer service, and you can really tell the difference in terms of customer loyalty and the way people talk about those brands in the crypto sphere. So I'm always impressed with that. So I think that was a gangster move for sure in going that direction, and I like that. That's good. Let's go into kind of the roadmap because everybody wants to know, hey, is this going to plug into more NFT marketplaces? Where else can I really start to use this? Now that SolPay is really coming out and we're seeing use case scenarios, how will Phantom Wallet kind of roll out? Give me a few scenarios of some of the best use cases that you've seen with Phantom Wallet as it starts to integrate into a lot of these different areas.
Mhm. Yeah, I'd say right now our primary focus is doubling down on the Solana ecosystem and just really keeping our eye on the ball there. Like I mentioned earlier, one of the biggest things we have going on right now is getting our Android app out to the general public post beta release. I think mobile is very important right now at this point in crypto, and it's interesting because people have really always have been talking about the marriage of mobile and crypto for a while, but it never really materialized, and I think that's for a couple of different reasons. One, the underlying technology that blockchains were built on were not made for fast and cheap transactions, and therefore not necessarily that they didn't really lend themselves well to a mobile form factor. And so now that we have that, people really do love making transactions and doing things on their phone, because each transaction feels a lot more, fluid and seamless. And then I think the second thing is the advent. People just, for a while just didn't really know what blockchains were good for or what to do on them. And so, and that, DeFi was sort of like this first emergent vertical. But I think the use cases and people that were using DeFi didn't necessarily, lend themselves to mobile at first. But now with the rise of NFTs, Web3 gaming, and some of these more casual use cases, I think
Yeah.
it makes the environment ripe for mobile as well. So in general, just really doubling down on mobile, and trying to break crypto into the mobile scene where it's traditionally been a bit hard.
Yeah,
Um,
I was looking at
and
some of
then
my
yeah, go
notes
ahead.
that I was looking at some of the notes here. Phantom Browser plugin saw 2 million monthly active users, so that pretty much put it as number one fastest growing wallet in history. That obviously being desktop, now you flip that over to iOS and the potential for adoption on that. Back to your point on mobile, do you see this really accelerating? Can you share any numbers on terms of growth or what you think this could scale to in, say, inside a year?
Yeah, that's a good question. I'd say, right now we're uh, pretty close to the 3 million user mark, or so. I'd say it's hard to tell. There's a lot of different factors to consider, I guess, when trying to predict the future with some of these growth numbers. Obviously, there is a crypto macro environment, and then on top of that, like a just general economic environment. And obviously, there's a number of things going on in the world, around, like including conflict in Europe and inflation here in the U.S. So it's hard to tell exactly how that will affect the crypto market, and I think downstream from that, just activity in
Yeah.
general. Um, but yeah, I'd say for us, we're shooting in sort of like the eight-figure mark
Okay.
of users by the end of the year. So 10 plus.
That would be huge.
And yeah, I think with mobile, I think we can really get there, especially with how we can leverage mobile to grow outside the U.S. Um, uh, People, a lot of dApps right now are also geared and designed for desktop, and so
Mhm.
they're usable in like the mobile app browser, but may not be like the best experience. I think people this year will really figure out how to optimize for those mobile experiences and create
Yeah.
more like fluid applications. And so anyway, Yeah, but I'm
Yeah, well,
predicting a lot more uptick on
yeah,
usage
well,
on mobile.
you're rolling into Android, so that in itself is going to be a huge leap in terms of new users really experiencing it in the mobile device outside of what you see on, iOS. So kudos to you guys. I was looking also, Phantom's used to stake over 10 billion right now, swap a 1.37 billion in tokens, and make 55.2 million NFT acquisitions. Those are crazy numbers in terms of just scalability of being able to handle that kind of scale. And the likelihood is we're only seeing this really at the tip of the very tip of the iceberg. Where do you see this going in, for the crypto market, especially in the aspect of wallet usage? I mean, you could see 10x of this inside a couple of years. So scalability wise, is Phantom ready for that kind of growth?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think we really had a bit of a trial by fire end of last year, sort of like in that sort of uptick.
Hmm.
And so, yeah, through that we definitely learned a number of lessons, and I think are preparing and positioning ourselves well for the future for sure. I think when you start seeing growth like that, basically like every pipe starts leaking in some form or the other,
Hmm.
whether it's like technical, just straight up, how fast can the servers, respond to this number of requests, but then also operationally, and like I mentioned before, there's this customer support aspect to the
Right.
operation as well. That needs to be scaled up as and elastic with the number of users and usage. And so, yeah, I'd say we have seen this large uptick at the end of last year. It showed us, where all those sort of leaks were. We've done, I think, a good job to patch up a lot of those leaks. But I think we're wading into uncharted territory, so we'll
Yeah.
see how it goes.
Well, good luck on that, because that's to me that's always going to be the truth teller of any great project is when they meet that tipping point where those dominoes just start falling over like crazy and scale occurs. That's when you know if you have something for sure. So it's going to be fun to watch just to see how these companies and projects are kind of rolling out in that direction. When you look at MoonPay, as far as onboarding opportunities, and we're seeing more of that being utilized in different ways around the industry. Why go the direction of MoonPay? What was kind of your thoughts with that?
Yeah. Well, that's a good question. Yeah, like I mentioned before, one of our biggest responsibilities and sort of core competencies as a company is our ability to onboard users to Web3.
Mhm.
Um, One of the biggest problems right now is, how does a user actually fund their wallet?
Right.
Um, like you mentioned before, there previously there was this sort of path where someone hears about cryptocurrencies, they want to invest, they open up an account at a crypto exchange, and then they learn about self-custody wallets. They learn that there's a number of other assets and sort of financial tools available to them if they go this non-custodial route. Then they send some money from Coinbase or whatever to their wallet. Um, what's interesting in this day and age is that now a lot of times the reason why someone wants to get into crypto is not to invest in some coin that they heard about, but it's actually to get access to some NFTs, and that's actually a very Web3 first, like
Yeah.
non-custodial first behavior. And so a lot of times we see people just downloading Phantom as their first thing that they're
Hmm.
doing to get into
Hmm.
crypto. And for those cases, it's extremely important to have something, an on-ramp that's built directly into the wallet because they're not coming from this, crypto exchange first. And so
Yeah.
that, just made a really natural, it's a very easy decision for us to go to add a on-ramp to work with MoonPay. They're one of the biggest players in the space, support for a lot of different assets that our users want and expect. Um, and yeah.
Cool. I like it. I think on-ramps are one, we're going to see more and more of that integrated. The easier it is to, whether you're using credit cards, debit cards, bank accounts, whatever it might be, to get into these layers are going to be critical. And I think in most cases are going to be some of the differentiators that really make people jump into certain, certain types of wallets or certain types of exchanges even. So definitely online. And you mentioned with the aspect of NFTs kind of being one of the target Web3, let's go do this first case kind of scenario, which drives them to a wallet usage most of the time as opposed to an exchange. That being the case, you guys obviously partnered up with OpenSea. So talk to me a little bit about what and how that works. How has been the response so far? Where do you see that partnership kind of rolling out in the future?
Yeah, yeah, OpenSea coming to Solana and supporting Solana NFT is such a huge moment for the ecosystem. Um, yeah, I think they're, obviously the most legitimate name and brand in NFTs, let alone sort of like Web3 in general.
Mm-hmm.
And so them making a move to commit to supporting Solana, not only on a technical level, but also sort of like in a go-to-market and sort of brand way is very validating. And yeah, it just proves that there's been a lot of really quality projects and builders there. I'd say, yeah, we've been working with OpenSea the past couple of months to make that integration happen, and basically help them integrate wallets on the Solana side. And yeah, just looking forward to working with them more closely in the future related to anything NFTs. I think one of our main goals is to help grow the Solana ecosystem.
Yeah. Have you seen, I mean, obviously we know through traffic wise and what we measure within the marketplace, and, I use a lot of different tools to track, floors and frequency and cycles and which NFTs projects are rolling out. Is the app having any potential to develop around some of those kinds of tool sets, for an investor that, especially with NFTs being a big part of that, especially in our wallet, finding that perfect wallet right now for your NFTs is kind of a bit of a task. And being able to do it where that wallet is giving you some haptic feedback, so to speak. Any plans for that down the future on where NFT management might go inside wallets?
Yeah, definitely. I'd say we definitely started off our journey by listening to users and hearing, hearing that they really wanted a lot of NFT features directly into the wallet. And so we said, there's no reason why you shouldn't be able to see your NFTs in your wallet. So we started there when we came out. Over time, we've developed a number of more NFT specific features around intelligent grouping and stuff like that. And yeah,
Mhm.
moving forward, NFTs are definitely going to be a focus area for the company. We're definitely going to be building more types of analytics and more advanced features for NFTs directly into the wallet. So yeah, definitely expect to see some stuff there.
I love it, Brandon. It's been good. I can't wait to see this. We're really into these things. I mean, obviously we drink the Kool-Aid here heavily on TechPath, so we understand kind of the innovation in the space. But I'm always looking forward to projects that are one showing signs of real potential, especially as they start to tick off the roadmap. In terms of okay, check that's done, check that's done. And the NFT side of things, I'm looking forward to seeing what you guys do out there for sure. So we're going to be watching very closely. Thank you so much for stopping in on the show today. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, no, thank you for having me.
Excellent. All right, so you guys are tuned in over on the podcast right now. We love to get your feedback and we do love to get your comments. Remember, if you want to bring in a project or you think, hey, Paul, we should get this project on, get their CEO on, or maybe their dev lead, drop it in the comments below, whether it's on the podcast or here on the YouTube channel, because that's how we get feedback from you, our viewers and our listeners. And it's really how we understand what you guys want to hear and learn here on the show. So just drop the comments in, best place to do it. But better yet, if you join in on the Diamond Circle, you actually get a lifeline right into us. And that is where you get a lot more in the community. It's free, and it's also where we drop a lot of our alpha and a lot of our own insights, some of our trending projects, and then, of course, a lot of our content flow, as well as AMAs, things of that nature, all of that in the Diamond Circle, free of charge. Just hit the link below. You can join in. If you guys want to reach me, it's out on Twitter at Paul Barron. We'll catch you next time right here on TechPath.